Hey everyone. One of the questions I get asked a lot at the gym is about vacationing, traveling, and getting away from the gym for stretches of time, and people's concerns about slipping back in their fitness and not being able to keep their nutrition and stuff going. So it's a common thread that I hear. We're in Central Texas, and it gets hot this time of year, and we've got a lot of retired um, residents here who actually head off to any varying a number of amounts of time. They can be gone for a week, some of them go for 3 months, and they go to the second home that they have, or whatever. But generally speaking, the anxiety that produces when you've put a lot of work in for 6 or 8 weeks at a time, perhaps months at a time, and suddenly you're going to go away and afraid that you're going to lose a lot of the progress that you made. So I wanted to just kind of cover what I do when I go away, and how to have some sort of tips and tricks to keep you from getting too far off course. So I'm going to take a walk on the trail and just try to cover it as I go along. And let's take a walk. I'm no expert on TSA. I don't claim to. No, I went on the website just this morning to check that the information that I have is still valid. But it's always good to kind of check their app or their website and make sure that things haven't changed. They're have what they call a 311 rule, which is for liquids. It can only be 3 ounces. It can actually be 3.4 ounces, but for argument's sake, they call it 3 ounces. And you're allowed one plastic bag per passenger that's a Ziploc and it's clear so they can see what it is. So 311 is what they call that little rule. Um, Obviously, 3 ounces of a protein shake or really anything is not going to do anything for you. So the other trick is that you want to get a dry, get under this shade here for a minute where the deer seem to be hanging out. Um, well, what TSA does allow is for powdered substances to be in your carry-on, as long as it's 12 ounces or less. So my little hack typically is I'll get through TSA, get closer to my gate in the airport, and buy a bottle of water, for $14 or whatever they're charging in there. And then I have an empty shaker bottle, and I'll do my protein mix and stuff there at the gate before I get on the plane. And that gives me the protein I need for, say, a 3 or 4 hour flight. One of the tricks that I think is very helpful when you're going away is to make sure you've prepared, that you're going armed with the things that are going to be able to help you. So that for me is protein, it's collagen, and it's an electrolyte. You go somewhere where the environment and the climate is different, or the air is maybe thinner. Those are the things you're going to want to have with you, especially the electrolytes for hydrating and staying in a fit space. I take the collagen year round, and if I go a couple of weeks without having it, I find my joints are starting to ache and stuff, and that's not fun when you're sitting in a plane crammed in between two different people for 3 hours at a time. So those are the kind of ones that I try to make sure I have. Putting them in a plastic baggie, it could raise questions when you go through TSA and they say, what is this white substance that you have there? And it could get you pulled out of line and have you having to explain that it's protein, and may or may not be told to throw it out because they're just not sure. So I try to like to avoid that, and I think that the best way to do that, even though it's a more expensive way to do it, is to have those pre-packaged, individual sized packages that you can put in your suitcase. Even if you take one or two for the ride and then just check the rest with your baggage, it's a lot easier than trying to shove everything in there that's kind of sketchy looking, or having a giant tub of protein that just doesn't pack well. It takes up so much space in there. So that would be my takeaway for there. The last thing is food. The airplane food and the airport food, aside from being very expensive, is also not very healthy. So if you can pack yourself some dried fruit, some nuts, some good healthy omega fats, and all of that sort of thing, it'll keep you satiated. It's going to keep you from feeling that you have to, eat a Mounds bar when you get off out of the plane, or some kind of sugar spiking food. If you can keep yourself maintained in your energy level, you're going to do better than if you let yourself get too far gone and you get off that plane and the first thing you want to do is just chug something down that's full of sugar to bring your energy levels back up. So that would be one I would do too. The thing with, especially when you go to Europe, some countries are more strict about bringing food into their countries. So I would only bring enough to take care of you while you're on the flight. And then if you are told to throw it out, or you have gotten, most of the way through the bag, just toss it out. It's a whole lot easier than trying to walk through with something that might get you detained as well. So that's the ones I would think of: the protein, the electrolytes, making sure you get in your healthy fats and stuff through some food, and stay hydrated, and then you're there. You're going wherever you're going to go, and then that brings the question about how to handle when you're away and you're off somewhere. If it's something like you're going away for 3 months and you're um, aware of where that place is, maybe it's a second home, whatever the case may be, and you are already aware of your surroundings, great. But if you're going somewhere where it might make a little bit of sense to um, kind of look at earlier, maybe reach out to a couple of the gyms that are in the area and find out if they do daily memberships, so that you're able to get up in the morning. And it's always a good rule of thumb, regardless, to get it done early, get yourself out and active before the sun comes out. If you're going to somewhere that's hot, you want to be able to get your workout done and then get on with the fun of the vacation, because that's what you're there for after all anyway, right? To rest and relax, recuperate and repair your muscle tissue. So there's nothing wrong with taking a week or two off. There's going to be no major atrophy or any loss of musculature for several weeks before you're actually going to start slipping. It's more mental, where you're feeling not as healthy, not as strong and fit, and that can get into your head and get under your skin. So don't let it. Just enjoy yourself. And if you're at a poolside bar, and you're having a sugary drink, make sure you stay hydrated. For every drink you have, you should try to get a 6 or 8 ounces of water in as well. But yeah, that's the whole point. You're there for the sake of having a good time. I would say it's a good rule of thumb to do whatever the locals do. So if they're paddleboarding and they're walking early, there's sightseeing stuff where you can choose to walk or climb stairs instead of taking the easy route or the tour buses. Get out there, try to find a scratch kitchen, try to find somewhere that's farm to table, and that the ingredients are fresh, and you're not just getting some kind of preservative laden oils and all that kind of stuff in your system it's going to help to make you feel crappy and feel sick. And you want to be at your best. You want to be able to get up in the morning and go enjoy the sights and do the things you went there to do. So I think basically preparation is always going to be your best friend when you're going away. There's going to be a couple of I'm going to do an exercise second half to this video, and there's going to be some ideas and some thoughts for how to keep yourself fit while you're away, so you don't feel sedentary and you don't feel like you're losing ground. It doesn't mean you're going to gain a new muscle, but it's going to give you an opportunity to move your body, stay in the zone where you don't feel so I don't know, out of sorts, so that when you come home, it's like, oh my God, I got to start all over again. I've lost this much. Because I think a lot of that is imaginary. You don't really lose a whole lot, but mentally you get out of the habit. Now you got to get back in the habit. And it's better to just kind of stay in it the whole time. And even if you just kind of drop down to a baseline level where you're just doing what you need to do to feel good for the day, and take it from there. I don't know if you can hear this, but this is why I love Texas. It is hot, the sun is out, and now the thunder is starting to rumble out there. So it's getting a little darker over there. I'm gonna start making my way back to the truck, but I'm gonna go back to the house and show you guys my thoughts for how to kind of cover the fitness side of things and make sure that you feel that you're not getting too far afield from your progress. Okay, so back at the truck, no rain. I'm gonna get back to the house and start talking to you guys about how to maintain, not to gain, but to keep from losing ground as well, and put together a program that hopefully works for getting you guys in a good space. All right, guys, so I'm back home. I'm gonna head inside now and start working on the exercise portion of this second half of the videos that I'm doing here for traveling, and how best to kind of stay fit while you're away and you're on vacation. Here's where I do the YouTube stuff. If you can subscribe, if you can like, if you can share these videos, it's awesome. It brings me up in the algorithm. It gives me an opportunity to be seen by more people, teach more people, help more people. And as I go along here, I'm trying to get better and better at this and use it as a business and learn from it. So it'd be important to me, if you have an opportunity, to just go ahead and like and subscribe and so forth. I'm also gonna put a link right up here for the original or the initial video I did, which is more about protein and how it's a non-negotiable in our lives, and how much value there is in getting enough protein in your body. So it kind of segues and it works with this video a little bit. Also going to send a couple of links down in the description below where I cover the different individual packages of
the electrolytes, the protein, the collagen, so you have an opportunity to find something on Amazon. I'm gonna move on, I'm gonna get to the next one, but yeah, just let me know if anything I can help you with in the comments below, any kind of things you want to hear more about. I'm really enjoying this process, and I'm really starting to try to learn how to be a little more open and less tense and less nervous, and I'm hopefully as this moves along I get a little better at this. But yeah, so that's it for now. I'm out, and the next one's going to be exercise videos for taking in a suitcase with you on your way to your vacation. Thanks. Bye.